Hi, my name is Nancy Love, and I'm speaking to you from California for the Planet Peace Project, as well as for your own dignity of encounters. Ever since I started to become a hero for children enslaved in the human trafficking industry, as it's called, the horror, the crime ring, the international enslavement of human children. I have a hard time calling it an industry when you sell kids and their body parts, when you yourself upon little kids who can't give consent, even legally, much less physically. I just read yesterday some statistics stuff that said the average age of someone forced into human trafficking is 11, and that the lifespan of people in human trafficking, victimized, enslaved by it, tends to be about 7 years. This is a horror, and it is one of the main reasons. Finding out about all this and trying to help various types of law enforcement agencies, from state to city to county to federal to international, to help free the slaves, very literally, has been one of the main things that has caused me to lose hope and faith in humankind. Because as long as people look the other way and are too horrifyingly cowardly to even find out what's really happening on this world, for that matter, as long as people remain willfully ignorant and continue to breed while other children are literally in captivity, then how can anyone have any faith in this species? 2 Christmases ago, it was noted in the United States that there was an all-time high of child kidnappings and attempts to kidnap children out of shopping centers and malls. So anybody who puts yet another child on this world while 25,000 people starve to death every day, and millions upon millions of kids are literally being held in slavery, sexually assaulted, abused, forced into manual labor, and then some of them slaughtered for their um, body organs. It very literally makes me cry. Now, those of us like myself who have tried to help kids tend to be targeted by these same people. And I have suffered horrifyingly, as well as some individuals that I love very dearly have been uh, tormented. So it takes a hero. But what I'm trying to explain to you today is that it takes a village of heroes to help save lives. And when someone like me tries to assist the FBI and Interpol and other local agencies in identifying and arresting and convicting these traffickers, and then has her face smashed in and her life smashed in and her financial and domestic stability destroyed. And in 2016, I was so horrifyingly injured by these people that over the course of the ability to walk at all. And then I have to suffer through indignities where they're trying to say that I can, but I know I can't, and doctors know I can't, and x-rays say I can't. But there are even efforts to try to make, uh, they themselves crippled me. And then they say I'm lying about being crippled. That in itself is a whole new form of indignity and criminality. I have heard things about something called deep fake tapes, where people have been taking my YouTube videos, editing them, and creating videos that make it seem as if I said things I never said. And I just found out last week that someone has cloned my phone and started sending texts, apparently to his own wife, in which I still have no idea what they said, but they are one of the reasons she hates me, and I have absolutely no idea what's going on. And all these people are targeting me for all kinds of trouble and losses from which I may never recover. Um, Simply because I couldn't stand the idea that children, that's my prayer alarm. Several times a day, I have my phone set to remind me to pray for my cats because I intend to find them and bring them home. So to realize that when someone tries to stand up for kids and then several years later can't stand up at all, it's really going to turn a compassionate, loving, decent person who wanted to start an international peace organization into a misanthropic person. I have virtually no faith in humanity anymore. And whoever you are, you might be the kindest, smartest, most loving, most decent, most deeply moral person. But if it looks like a human being, at this point, I am disinclined to trust it. And that's a shame. The reason I'm making this video today is because in my encounters with all these local and primarily local and federal agencies, I have encountered some of the most noble, decent, moral people, some of the most beautiful souls I have ever had the privilege and honor of knowing. And when I see that they have to suffer threats and experience bribes and worry about their own loved ones, precisely because of that morality and that nobility and that dignity and that integrity, I want to wrap them in shields of love. I want to wrap them in impenetrable shields made out of love itself. And frankly, I believe that that can be done. I believe love can be a shield. But what I'm suggesting is that a lot of you good cops and good judges and good attorneys and good good attorney is not an oxymoron. I don't mean an effective attorney, I mean a moral attorney, and I know a lot of you will argue about the existence of such a thing, but I promise you there are deeply moral attorneys. Yes, I know for sure. All these people in the district attorney's office, people in state attorney general's offices, other politicians. The good ones of you feel outnumbered sometimes, and you feel at risk, and you think that by doing the right thing for crime victims, that you might be putting your own loved ones at risk. First of all, there is absolutely, I do declare, and I declare for all time, with a vehemence that comes from the passion of the depths and breadths of my soul, there is utterly and absolutely no lower form of life than someone would hurt your children or your pets in order to coerce behavior out of you, silence you, corrupt you. There is utterly and absolutely no lower manner of thinking than someone who would even conceive of hurting an innocent to try to control you or to recruit you or to intimidate you in other ways. So, second, um, what I'm seeing is a profound need for alliance. Sometimes I have felt like the Lone Ranger, and when I encounter the like the last angel standing, but now I'm rolling because I can't stand, but I can still roll. I know that there are angels among us, and some of them, yep, wear cop uniforms, and some of them wear judges' robes, and some of them work at the district attorney's office, and some of them are in administrative um, positions. Some of them are your state's attorney general's office. Some of them may be in the governor's chair. Some good people are the mayor of your town. And what I'm experiencing is that these people feel beleaguered and set upon. So, what we really need to do is band together because we are fighting organized crime. These people are vicious, these people are stupid. They have no self respect, no concern for their immortal soul, probably in many cases, no belief in the idea that they have an immortal soul. They're in it for greed, they're in it for lust, they're in it for to satisfy their immediate needs, usually for drugs. Most of these people are drug addicts and wouldn't recognize normal brain chemistry if they experienced it for a year. They've been protecting the status quo of abnormal brain chemistry that's altered by the use of chemical substances, including but not limited to alcohol and cocaine and heroin and things of that nature. So they don't even know who they are, and their own intellect and judgment can't stand up for itself because they are always corrupting it with their drugs. So what we've got here is a feeling where you've got people who feel isolated and set upon, and yet there are some of us who will still do the right thing in spite of experiencing loss as a result of it. I personally believe that I can regain some of what these people have taken from me, and I intend to do so. I intend to do so now. But what I need is allies. And what I need is what I call good cops to rise. If you're one of the good ones, if you can still look yourself in the face and realize that there are days in which, yes, you still do the right thing precisely and only because it is the right thing, then I love you. And I don't need to know your name and I don't need to see your face. I just need to know that you're out there. But you and I and those of us who have the courage and the intellect and the dignity to stand up for the right thing to do. Absolutely vicious, so stupid, so lazy, so greedy, so foul that they would kill a kid to sell its heart. And I'm done crying and trying to do this from at least the feeling that I'm alone. I'm tired of hearing about cops who've been threatened, district attorney's offices who've received bribes. I'm really tired of hearing about judges that go to sex orgies and do cocaine with people who admit that they're perjuring themselves and have, submitted profoundly false evidence. I'm tired of being laughed at by vermin. I'm tired of being set upon by people who admit that they're channeling what they call demons, because I am sublime. I am a righteous one. I am good. I have moral character. I have dignity, and I have kept my integrity intact in spite of onslaughts and physical assaults and completely illegal things being done to me on every level and my loved ones. It is more important to me that my loved ones have been beset upon than anything that's ever been done to me. But I can't do this alone, or I would have done it by now. I need to get my cats back. And the people who are involved in this 1,000 plus member group of international slave runners in California and beyond need to be put in prison. 2 years ago, I gave the FBI 40 new leads after battling what I thought was the whole group of them for more than a decade. Only 3 weeks later, the FBI told me they had more than 1,040 criminal conspirators in that one crime ring alone. And they went from San Diego to Los Angeles and into Mexico and into other countries. So, what I need you all to understand is that if good people are battling bad people, and the bad people have banded together on the basis of their criminality and their corruption and their greed and their lust and their crime and their stupidity and their filth and their laziness and their lack of moral character and their complete lack of intellect, because who the heck would want to spend their life in criminal activities when the world is so sorely in need of all kinds of meaningful service? This is a world that needs gardeners to tend a world on fire. We need to heal the planet, not spend our times, navel gazing and wondering how we can use greed and corruption and crime to get more of what we need for the next day. We need to grow up and show up with some sort of evolution on a species wide level, or we as a species are going to destroy the world. So please, please, if you are among the good cops, if you're a decent judge, if you are one of the people who absolutely does have some sort of dignity left and some sort of integrity, then I am calling you to rise. I'm calling you to form alliances with other individuals who have the courage that you have, and I'm calling upon you to make certain that you don't feel as alone. I'm calling upon you to find the strength of character. Let's get this done. We're going to clean up this place. I have tremendous respect for those with courage and valor. And I know that as long as you're here, I am not alone.